Some of my dream places to read a book are Stars Hollow from Gilmore Girls or Sunshine Falls from Book Lovers, but these places are fictional. I just want to read my fictional books in a fictional town. Is that too much to ask for?
Well, this week I'm going to try and get as close as I can to making that dream happen by reading small town romances in real life small towns.
That will hopefully be just as cute to read in as my dream fictional towns. I brought 4 books with me and I've got 4 small towns on my list, so let's get reading. So I will likely not be reading all 4 of these books in this video, but I'd like to get through at least 3 of them. I love how 3 out of the 4 of these books are orange. My parents live in a very small town, and something that's really cool about where they live is you can drive an hour in any direction and hit like 1 to 3 other small towns. So there's like so many tiny towns around them, and they're all so cute. And I didn't grow up here, but my parents have lived here for quite a few years. And one of my parents' favorite things to do is to visit all these tiny towns, like just for a day or to have lunch. We'll literally drive like 40 minutes just to try a new restaurant in a different town. And I love that they do that because I would never do that on my own. And I think it would just be so picturesque and also so immersive reading a book, looking around and being like, wow, I literally feel like I'm inside the book right now. Like that just feels like a book lover's dream. I'm currently in the middle of Juniper Hill by Devney. This is the second book in the Eden series. The first book is Indigo Ridge, and I love the first book. I give it 4.5 stars, and I feel like the series is kind of similar to the Chestnut Spring series, where of course we have small town, and then we also have this big family, the Edens. Like there's tons of siblings, and each book follows a different Eden's sibling. And this one follows Knox Eden, and he's a chef at a hotel restaurant. And then we have Memphis, and she comes into the small town really with nothing, like no money and no one in her life except for her son, and she gets a job working as a maid at the hotel. Oh, and she's renting like a guest room at Knox's place. So we have like such great forced proximity of them working in the same building, living right next to each other. And I have been absolutely loving this book. It's given me all those like warm, fuzzy feelings that remind me why I love the romance genre so much. But I also like that it's not just a happy romance. It also has a lot of depth to it. Both of the characters have had hardships in their past. I like that the book has a lot to it. Oh, I also forgot to mention that I'm gonna finish reading this book here at the house. And then whenever I'm done reading this book, we're gonna go to our first small town to start book 2. I'm on page 291, and oh my gosh, this book has gotten so intense. I did not expect this at all. I am so stressed for the characters, which is something I do love about the series. Is I feel like in the first book and this book, it has a lot going on. We have the romance, we have some kind of plot going on with the family or other siblings normally, and the best part, we've gotten a mystery in book 1 and this book. I would say romance mystery is like my favorite crossover genre, and I feel like it's kind of hard to find. Maybe I just haven't looked hard enough, but in the first book, we literally have an entire murder mystery plot line, and in this book no one has died, but someone is missing. So yeah, I am head over heels for mystery romances. I finished the book. I'm gonna say 4 stars. The only reason I wouldn't say higher is I do think I like the first book in the series a little better. I love that the ending was so cute and heartwarming. I just love this series so much and how invested you get in the Eden family and the town. I believe book 3 follows the sister. They kind of had a little setup in this book for the next one, so I'm excited to read that one eventually. Okay, let's pick book number 2. All right, so here are our next book options, and I already know which one I want to pick. I'm 100% gonna go with Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. I love Elsie Silver so much. I think I've rated every single one of her books 4+ stars, so she truly never misses, or hasn't yet for me. And I'm very excited to read Wild Eyes. This is the second book in the Rose Hill series. And I don't know too much about this plot. I know that he is a single dad, and he's, I believe, a horse trainer, and then she is a country singer, which I think is gonna be so fun to read. Like one of them is famous.
Also, yesterday when I was packing these books, I also packed some cute comfy lounge clothes to read in.
Some of my favorite things to read in are boy shorts and a t-shirt, and I may have discovered a new favorite pair of boy shorts from Skims, who has kindly sponsored today's video. I have never tried any Skims products before. I've always wanted to. If you're like me, I always felt kind of overwhelmed in like where to start with Skims products. They have clothes, undergarment, shapewear, and the 2 pieces that I got are from their Fits Everybody collection. I think that's a great place to start. Something that I have struggled with boy shorts is, like I said, I love to wear them when lounging around the house, but I always feel like mixed on wearing them under clothes, especially things like under jeans, because my boy shorts in the past have been a little more loose fitting, and I feel like throughout the day they like move around, or I have to like keep tucking them into my jeans. So I really love that these give me the coverage of boy shorts, but they're completely form-fitting. They almost hug me like a second skin and don't show any underwear lines. And like I said, I'm a big lounge girl. I feel like we all are as readers, so I love their bralette is so
comfortable under everything. I also love that all of their products are really stretchy. A lot of times when ordering from new companies, I like get the wrong size half the time, or I've had clothes that used to fit and now they don't because all of our bodies are always changing. So I really appreciate that they are stretchy. So click the link in my description to check out the Fits Everybody collection, which is available in sizes extra, extra small to 4X. And after you place your order, be sure to let them know that I sent you. Select YouTube in the survey and be sure to select my channel in the drop-down menu that follows. And now let's get back to present day. It's time to head to our first small town to read. And my mom is gonna come with me, and so I packed some books for her so she could pick one to read this week while I'm reading as well. These are the books I brought for her to choose from. She really liked the ACOTAR series, so I thought she would like Caraval and just like in general want to try more romantasy. We're both reading the Natural series right now. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, I haven't seen her read anything similar, but I also hadn't read anything similar when I picked up this book and I really loved it. Butcher and Blackbird is a little bit of a gamble. Don't know how she would feel about it, but she does love romance and mystery. And then A Million Junes is by Emily Henry, and she has loved previous Emily Henry books before, so I thought she would like this one. I have the perfect small town to go to today. The setting, literally I think is gonna be so perfect for the exact setting in Wild Eyes, and that is Johnson City. Johnson City was home to Lyndon B. Johnson, who was the 36th president of the United States. The town, surprisingly, was not named after him. It was named after one of his ancestors who founded the town in the 1800s. And the town has a population of around 1,700 people, which is so tiny. That's smaller than my high school. But me and my mom grabbed lunch, and then we headed to the Johnson Settlement, which is where Lyndon B. Johnson's grandfather lived. I just knew I wanted to come here and read today because I feel like the settlement really felt like it could be West's property in the book. West has a main house on his property that I imagine to be very rustic. I'm sure not 1800s house rustic. I'm sure it was a lot more modern. Also, out of all the books I brought for my mom, she ended up deciding to start A Million Junes. She's read Beach Read and Book Lovers before by Emily Henry, so I was very excited to see her start another Emily Henry book because this one is one of my favorites. I gave it 5 stars. Oh, and A Million Junes also takes place in a small town, so we really are just hitting all the small town books in this video. And then also in Wild Eyes, Skylar, she ends up staying in this bunkhouse on West's property, and there was like a little like shed bunkhouse behind the main house, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is so perfect. It literally feels like that's where Skylar could be staying. So it was truly such a perfect place to start this book. We're back from the settlement. It was so nice reading there. I feel like the setting, like I said, just lined up so perfectly with the book. Anyway, I got to page 79. And why are Elsie Silver books like crack? I was thinking about that. I was like, I feel like they're just so easy to fly through, but they're not just like surface level reads, like they also have depth to them. I think I could confidently say Elsie Silver might write my favorite men. And I think that's why her books are so addicting, because it's like when the characters are interacting, I'm obsessed, like can't put the book down. And then as soon as the scene ends, I'm like, no, I have to keep reading to see what their next interaction is gonna be. And I really like that we have to also kind of unravel the character's backstory. Like that really hooks me as well. And 2, I also might spend a day just reading at my parents' house as well. My parents' property backs up to a ranch. Because their property backs up to a ranch, there's no buildings or anything. And it's just so peaceful to read here. Look how pretty. Also meet our 2 special guests. This is Milo. Milo, hello. And Ladybug. For day 2, I headed to Spicewood, Texas with my mom. On our way to Spicewood, we had to bypass some cows on the road. And I wanted to pick each town in this video based on like what's going on in the book. And Spicewood is the home to Willie Nelson, who is a really famous country singer. And like I said in the book, our female main character Skylar is a famous country singer. And then we ate at this restaurant that was owned by Willie Nelson's longtime stage manager and has a ton of live music. So it felt very fitting to have lunch here. And then we headed to a winery to read. We made it to the winery. My book matches my wine, which I think is so funny. I'm on page 246, and I started this book yesterday.
I'm on page 113, and I'm loving it. It's I just think she writes so beautifully and lyrically and poetically, and it's as good as the other books I've read from hers, and this is one of her beginning books. It's just been magical. I really like it.
This is the first time I have read like an older book of hers. I feel like a lot of other authors, you can tell when you read their early books that they're still good, but they do feel like their writing skill level isn't like as developed yet. So it's like so impressive to me that Emily Henry is just like across the board, like amazing writer. But yeah, it's magical realism, which is very different than her present day books. And I think that's cool. I think she should write more magical realism.
And my mom ended up finishing A Million Junes after I finished filming this video. She gave it 5 stars, which made me so happy because I love that book. She said she thought the ending was a little cheesy, but other than that, she loved how magical it was and how much depth it had. Hello. I'm getting a little bit of a later start on reading today, but I'm on page 374. Me and my mom stayed at the winery for so long reading. It was so nice outside. And then I think since I started this book, I don't think I've gone to bed before midnight a single night because I've just not been able to put this book down. And I have definitely under 100 pages. So my goal is to finish this book today and start a new one. One of my favorite things about coming here to visit my parents, it just feels so comforting being here. My parents know all their neighbors and I know all their neighbors. I literally went on a walk with my dad this morning and one of the neighbors owns turkeys and the turkeys ran up and greeted us. Like, you just have such a sense of community here, which I think is so cool. And it's also just so peaceful. Like sitting outside and just hearing nature noises or silence. And that's something that's really integral in this book as well. Like Skylar, when she's stressed, she goes out and sits by the lake, and her and West also spend their evenings. They call it doing night check, where they feed the horses and they just do that in companionable silence. Elsie Silver just encapsulates that feeling of like comfort in a place so well in her books, which I love. Oh my gosh, and we have gotten to the third act conflict and it so surprised me. I kind of thought I was gonna guess the third act conflict. I thought it was gonna be like very stereotypical, but no, it has caught me off guard, and I love when a book surprises me. So I'm so intrigued to see what is gonna happen next. I am absolutely loving this book. I feel like it has so much depth to it, and Weston is a single dad, and I just love the single parent trope. I feel like it makes the world feel so full with so many characters. I finished the book. I'm gonna say 5 stars, which I really didn't expect going into this. It was just so good. I would say my second favorite Elsie Silver book ever. The first one being Reckless. I don't know what will top Theo Silva. That man is amazing. But Weston Belmont is a very close second. Also, it's been so nice reading out here. We're not going to any small towns today, but we have 2 more days left in this video and 2 more small towns to go to. And now time to start book 3. I wanted to pick this book because I've never read a Sarah Adams book before, and reading a book by new author sounds really fun. And this book actually is coincidentally kind of similar to Wild Eyes. The main character is a famous pop star, so that is quite similar. Like, one of them is famous singer showing up in a small town. After starting one in Rome, I hung out with my mom while she watered her garden, and then it was time to put out corn for the deer. I keep saying deer for the corn, which is incorrect. Corn cannot eat deer. And Milo goes crazy when we put corn out. He doesn't even try to really eat it or anything. He just jumps and runs in circles. It's wild and it's so funny to watch. And then the next day, headed to our next small town, Marble Falls, Texas. The reason I wanted to go to Marble Falls today is because my mom has been raving about this bakery. So we did a little shopping, grabbed some lunch, and then headed to the bakery. And in When in Rome, our male main character Noah is a pie shop owner. So I knew I wanted to go to a bakery today. We just got back from the bakery. We got so many goodies and I want to do a little taste test in a sec. But as a little update right now, I'm on page 59 in the book. So far it's really cute. So far I will say I think I've liked Wild Eyes and Juniper Hill more, but I'm still like really enjoying this book. He's grumpy, has some, you know, past baggage from an ex, and then she is trying to escape the fame and popularity and all the responsibility she has at home because it's just been very, very overwhelming for her. So she sets off to a small town before she has to go on tour. So I also do like that we obviously haven't gotten to like the conflict yet because they're not even together or anything yet, but I have a feeling it's going to be a very realistic conflict of how are they going to merge their lives when their lives are so different. And she has a tour to go on. He already owns a dessert shop in this small town, so he can't really pick up and leave. I like when books have really really realistic conflicts, it just makes it feel that much more real to me. And I think just having really different lives or trying to be long distance are really realistic relationship conflicts. But yeah, it's very adorable, and it was great going into the bakery in Marble Falls because now I'm just like picturing that bakery as his pie shop. And let me show you the desserts we got.
So this one's a little blueberry tart, and then we got apple sweetbread, and this one is a blondie, and I think it has white chocolate and then some kind of like raspberry or something like that in it as well.
And I think for science and for full immersion into this book, I must try a taste test of each of the desserts. Blueberry scone. Pretty simple, but pretty good. Okay, for the blondie. Now that's good. I think it's white chocolate and cherry. Okay, and the apple dessert. This looks so messy. That's so good. I'm gonna have to say the apple dessert. And then, I don't know if I showed this yet in the video or not, but I think like 2 days ago, me and my mom made a key lime pie. It was very fun to bake with her. We still have key lime pie left, so I'm gonna have to be eating so much dessert, and I'm not mad about it. All right, let's do some more reading.
Oh, Ladybug. One thing about this girl is that she loves shoes. Give her a store-bought toy, she doesn't care. A shoe? She's so happy. Yes, I need that shoe though. We're currently working with 2 left shoes because she's taken all the right ones.
I don't want to go inside. It's so nice outside. It's finally feeling like fall in Texas, but I think it is now too dark for me to read, so I'm gonna head in. I'm on page 122, and I had to have some pie because in this scene, the characters are eating pie. And I'm feeling, I've gotta say, like a tiny bit conflicted on the book, which I didn't expect because I've heard amazing things about this book and about Sarah Adams. I'm definitely still enjoying it, but I don't know, there's just something that feels like I'm not like 100% connecting with. I think maybe it's just like a little bit cliched. I don't know if cliched is quite the right word. I just feel like there's kind of like nothing new in this book. Like it feels like a classic rom-com, which I love, but I think now I've just read so many romance books. I do kind of like when a romance book surprises me or just like has a new element to it or great banter, just like one thing where I'm like, oh, obsessed. I also think it's been a little bit of like a short timeline so far, like they haven't known each other that long. And it can be like a little bit of a romance pet peeve of mine when we don't have enough time for the characters to like really fall in love. Obviously, we still have a lot of the book left, so who knows where it's gonna take us. One thing I do really like though is I think this book does a great job of like really bringing in all of the small town elements. Like in Wild Eyes, obviously love that book, gave it 5 stars, but we more so were on Weston's property. And in this one, like they go in town, we've got the pie shop, we've met townspeople. My consensus so far is it's like a very cute read. Good morning, we're about to go to Blanco, Texas, get some lunch, do some reading there, explore that small town. But before we left, I wanted to show you guys my mom. I posted about how she's such a good crocheter and she always gives me great bookish crocheted gifts. And she finally decided to open an Etsy shop. I'm so excited for her. It's not open yet, but I'll let you guys know when it is. Definitely on Instagram and probably in a YouTube video as well. But I have a bunch of the bookmarks that she crocheted. This isn't gonna be all of them, but this is most of them. And look how cute they are. They're so adorable. I love all the animals, and like the flower ones are some of my favorite. I think they're so pretty. Little cats, they're just so cute. I'm obsessed with them, and I've been like rotating between using all these bookmarks. Okay, let's head to our last small town of the video, the last one. I chose Blanco for today's small town because it has so many cute shops and restaurants, and in the book When in Rome, Amelia makes a list of everything she wants to do in the small town, including exploring the small town, and so I thought it'd be fun to find a quiet place to sit and read, and then me and my parents explored the small town and did a lot of shopping. Hello, I'm back from my parents' house. Yesterday after Blanco, I drove straight back from there back to Austin. So I've been home and I did some reading last night and this morning. I have just about exactly 50 pages left, and I'm feeling so conflicted on this book, which I honestly don't expect. I went into this book like so excited thinking, oh my gosh, I'm gonna find a new author that I love. I'm gonna add all those other books that she has to my list. But yeah, I'm just feeling so like meh. The conflict in it is getting to feel repetitive to me, which is getting to feel a little frustrating. I kind of feel like, okay, I know exactly what's gonna happen, and it's kind of making me lose interest. I don't know. I'm conflicted, but I'm gonna finish this book and then I'll cast my full final review.
I just got back from a walk, so I'm in a different outfit, but I finished the book. I did really enjoy the ending. I think overall it's just a like, not a love kind of book for me, which is totally fine. Like, not every book is gonna be a 5 out of 5, hit it out of the park, amazing. Normally I think I wouldn't mind a 3-ish star read as much. I think I just went in maybe with a little too high expectations just because I have heard really great things about this author. But I think I would still be open to trying a different book by her. Maybe The Cheat Sheet, because I've heard that book is so cute. Anyway, I think for my final rating, I'm gonna say 3.25 stars. And that's the last book for this video. So in total, I read 3 small town romances and we went to 4 small towns. This video was honestly so fun to make. It was just cool to feel like really immersed in the books. It'd be really fun to do this kind of video idea again, but with like a different genre or like trope or subgenre. So if you guys have any requests, whether it's like being kind of immersed in that, like this video, or if it's just as simple as like reading a specific genre for a week, let me know, because I think that'd be really fun to do. Also, Skims update. I know I told you guys at the beginning of this video, this is my first time trying them. Wore them in lots of long car rides in this video. If undergarments are comfy enough to travel with, then they pass the comfort test for me. Anyway, with that, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.